You're in the wrong seat. No, I'm exactly where I paid to be, but the attendant didn't care. The uniform, the assumptions, it all came down like a hammer. First class wasn't for people like her. Not today, not ever. Or so, they thought. What no one knew, what they couldn't imagine, was that this woman held more power in her fingertips than anyone else on that flight. This isn't just a story about a seat. It's about what happens when the system underestimates the wrong person. Welcome, story lovers. From where are you watching? Drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. Asterisk, the terminal bustled with movement, voices blending into the hum of evening flights. Elise Morgan, a sharply dressed black woman in her mid-30s, stood calmly by gate A7. Her presence was poised. Professional heels clicking softly as she approached the first-class line. Elise was no stranger to travel. As the CEO of a major tech company, air travel was routine. Clutched in her hand was a premium boarding pass, row 1A, first class. She had earned every mile of that seat. As she stepped on board, the scent of leather and fresh air conditioning wrapped around her. She offered a polite smile to the flight attendant and made her way to her seat. But before she could sit down, a cold voice halted her. "You're in. The wrong cabin. Economy is behind you." Elise blinked, caught off guard. Something about the attendant's tone wasn't confusion, was assumption. And that assumption was about to unravel everything. Elise calmly showed her boarding pass. First class, seat 1A. The attendant didn't budge. Her eyes scanned Elise from head to toe, lingering just long enough to make her feel small. "I'm sure there's been a mistake. You need to move?" Other passengers were watching LHE, some whispering, but none spoke up. Elise's ID came out next, but the attendant waved it off like it didn't matter. "I said, ma'am, you can't sit here. Please go to economy." Elise felt her cheeks flushed out from embarrassment, but from fury. This wasn't confusion. It was disbelief wrapped in condescension. She took a breath, then pulled out her phone. No anger, no raised voice. Just one quiet call. The flight continued boarding. Whispers rose again as a uniformed staff member approached Elise. But this time, he was polite, apologetic. Then he backed away, phone pressed to his ear. Another crew member received a text, eyes widening before disappearing behind the cockpit door. The energy shifted, heads turned. Tension crackled in the air like static. 20 minutes later, a message flashed on the pilot's internal screen. Protocol alert. CEO Elise Morgan of SkyTech Holdings is on board. Full compliance expected. It's a very software managing the airline's operations. Elise's company owned it. When the pilot stepped out of the cockpit, the cabin fell silent. He didn't speak. To the passengers, just walked directly to Elise. "Miss Morgan," he said, voice steady but cautious. "We deeply apologize for the misunderstanding. Please make yourself comfortable." The flight attendant who had dismissed her stood frozen, face pale, unable to meet Elise's eyes. Elise sat down, no words, no need. Her silence was louder than any speech. By the time the plane landed, the airline had issued a public statement. The attendant and 2 supervisors were suspended pending investigation. Passengers whispered as Elise disembarked, not out of pity, but respect. And the airline. It faced a full-scale internal review. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. Elise didn't make a scene that day. She didn't yell or demand anything, but her presence, her quiet power, spoke louder than outrage ever could. The incident sparked national attention, not because it was rare, but because it was caught in the wrong moment with the wrong woman. How many times had others been silenced, dismissed, humiliated, without the weight of a corporation behind them? Elise didn't seek revenge. She called for reform training, accountability, and structural change, because this wasn't about her, it was about everyone who had ever been told, "You don't belong here." And she had just proven, yes, she did. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.